Good afternoon and welcome to our Thursday edition of Full Out Chats. I am your host, Steve Solberg, and we were finally able to lock him down, get him for part two. Tate Chalk, CEO, founder of Nfinity. Yes, those Infinities blew up the cheer industry when it came out. It's phenomenal products. People from all over the world uses Nfinity, and just excited for part two of his story. If you missed part one, go watch it on YouTube or listen to it as a podcast. It's an awesome story. But today we're going to talk to Tate Chalk about the creation of Nfinity. But before we get going, as every coach says, let's do it one more time and let's go full out.
Chat. Do you know what time it is? U-L-L-O-U-P. We got control, we got the right, we got the vision, you lose the sight. We will never stop. What? We got the drum, yeah. What time is it? Oh, we're live in 5, 6, 7, 8.
With the music, we are full out, and let's get Tate Chalk. There he is. Tate, how you doing, man?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great. I have been waiting for finally part two of our interview. You have been extremely busy, I know. And so, again, I know you're very busy running an awesome business like Nfinity. And again, thank you for taking the hour today just to share the rest of your story about, now we're at the point of, we kind of left it as a cliffhanger a few weeks ago. And we're at the point of talking about where you're sitting right now. You're in the office at Nfinity and want to know about, the creation of Nfinity.
Gosh, it was so long ago. I think, when were we on last?
God, it was probably about 5 weeks ago. It was a little bit over a month, I think.
A little bit has gone on in the world since the last time we saw each other.
That is quite the understatement, my friend. You are not wrong about that. It's, and I wanted to go live with you, and I think that, you just have such an awesome story. And, I mean, again, I told people, if you missed part one, listen to it. It's unbelievable about taking a chance, moving to California, taking a chance, going to Kentucky. I mean, just all the chances you've took, and obviously it's paid off because now you helped found one of the biggest cheerleading brands in the world. And
thanks. It's been a ride for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the key to that is just don't be scared to take a chance. And so I'm really looking forward to catching up. Where would you like?
Well, I mean, we kind of left it off that, you, hello, you there? Tate, did we lose him? Oh. Tate, you there? You there? Yep, I can. Yep, you're there? You there?
I am, and clearly we need better internet at Nfinity. Are you there?
No. Yeah, but, it's a live show. It's a live stream. We're all good. No, absolutely. You there?
I'm here. Are we back?
Well, we left it off, and part one of, you were at South Carolina. You were helping out again, and then kind of that was it. And then we talked about how, you were back in Georgia. You were helping out with some few things, and then that was it. Then we said, hey, we're going to talk about how this idea of a shoe came about and kind of go from there.
Sure. Well, I think that we left it off where I got a phone call, and I got a phone call from my former partner. I think you've had him on the air before, Mike Perry. Hey, we want to do a shoe.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay.
Thank you. Thanks for look. We have all these people. Thank you, guys.
I know.
Hopefully, you can. I know we're waiting. This is going to be either the shortest interview or the longest because I won't be able to get my story out.
No.
Hey, Pirates Cheer.
It's a live stream. It's okay.
I hate it. Join to try to listen and wow, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Hello, Foxy Swish, Kennedy, Alexis. All right.
Yeah,
Good.
I mean,
all right. So
people are joining. People want to hear the story. Yeah. So I had Mike Perry on, and Mike, you and Mike kind of talked about this shoe thing.
Yeah, sure. And at the time it was a bunch of guys who thought, hey, we want to get into the shoe business, and I had already developed or brought a brand to market called Power way back in the day. So if there's any old schoolers in here, we had taken a brand. Thank you, guys. And we had already taken a brand and brought it into the cheerleading world, and when no one else thought we could. So it was an awesome time to bring another brand out. And then at the time, Mike and those guys had a completely different vision for what they wanted to do with Nfinity. But we talked about it. And at the time, spring floors were just being released. I believe Cheersport had just announced. I remember when those guys from Cheersport would just run around with their tiny little square of spring, and people were like, spring floor? Oh. But, come to find out, spring floor was just the thing that cheerleading needed. And my thought was, if we're doing spring floors, why don't we need a spring floor cheerleading shoe? And so we proceeded to develop. I went to China and I developed. I was over there for a week, and I had sent back when the first model showed up. And man, you're just not going to believe this. Hold on a second. So let me tell a little bit more of the story, then I'll show you the very first model that showed up. So
I've heard this story from Mike, and so I'm excited to hear from your point of view. This awesome design.
So I came back and told Mike and Glenn and those guys. I said, hey, I think I've got this figured out. We've got a spring floor cheerleading shoe, and I had no idea at the time it was going to be the ugliest thing you've ever seen, but it was the right idea, right? So I talked them into a spring floor shoe. They had wanted to go after the youth market, and while there's just tons and tons of youth kids, I just felt like having something that was super special was the way to go. So after some deliberation, they went along with my plan, and so I proceeded to China. Now, never had gone to China before. Certainly don't speak Chinese. My wife speaks Chinese, but I mean, I know enough to ask for a beer, find the bathroom, and find my hotel room, right? So that's about it. Hey, guys. Hello, Grace Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, Miley Cheer. I'm not sure. I can't read that far.
I saw earlier somebody was like, I'm in school right now, and I'm like, don't get caught.
Oh, no. Stay in school.
Yes.
Watch this, but stay in school. Hi, Amia, Alyssa Sage. Hey guys, thanks for joining. So you're about to see the ugliest shoe ever created, but it was our first go. I went to China. I didn't know how to design shoes, so I'm literally cutting pictures out of magazines. And this is sort of, internet's there, but it's not like, so I'm cutting pictures out, and I've got everything laid out. And I've like this Frankenstein shoe design, and I'm back and forth and charades, really, because I don't speak Chinese, and I'm talking in charades, and I think I got it laid out. So hold on just one second.
Oh, I'm ready.
So of course, can you hear me? Are we good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys. Hey Addie 710. So you're about to see what showed up as the original cheerleading shoe. Now, when you think of a cheerleading shoe, and maybe I missed this part of telling the story, you spend most of your time holding your shoe or standing on your shoulders or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is back when the NACCC was first coming out, and I was really pushing the factory for a sample because I was going to be in. So FedEx shows up that morning. Now, I live in Atlanta, and the NACCC and that meeting was in Atlanta. So I was just going to grab the shoe and run down there. What showed up horrified me. Do you see those cleats on the bottom?
Wow.
Do you see those cleats? I opened the box. I have a shoe that has cleats on them.
Wow.
And I thought, how am I going to sell this idea? So I thought, okay, well, I can sell them on the concept of the idea. So I put on my best, dog and pony show, and I said, dun, 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 dun. Imagine, if you will, what a cheerleading shoe would be, and a thing, and don't worry about the cleats on the bottom. Just don't even think about the cleats on the bottom. Just, hi, Crystal. You're hearing the story of the first Nfinity shoe. So this was the first sample that came. Not to mention it weighs about 4 pounds. Okay, so of course, it eventually became the Genesis, which again I think is the ugliest shoe that ever was. But that was the first cheerleading shoe that we came out with, and it was the Genesis. And we were told at the time by the people at, hey Georgie, hey y'all, hey Zoe, we were told that we will never, that will never work. Cheerleading shoes are white cross trainers. They'll never pay more than 35. Hey, Riley K. They will never pay more than $35. I think $35. That's what they're charging us in China for these things. I don't know how they're going to do these. So weirdly enough, and this was Varsity telling us that All-Stars at the time, that's not a thing. It's never going to be a thing. This is just a passing, fleeting moment. I was like, are you sure? I'm pretty sure All-Stars is going to be a thing. I'm pretty sure that the sport needs something of their own. Mm-hmm. So we held to our guns. I got a phone call about maybe 6 months later. Okay. After I had gone to Varsity, I had pitched them, and they were just like politely shooed me out the door. I got a call about 6 months later from the buyer and said, hey, we basically want everything you've got. We want everything you have. And I was like, okay, this is a good problem to have. And then, Steve, nightmare struck. Mm-hmm. Again, not ever building a shoe. It was we had like a 30% defect rate. I didn't know what to do. I went back over to China. I jumped up and down, and with my best charades, I, tried to fix the problem. And, my question then was, have you guys never made a shoe before? I mean, seriously. Hi, May 34. Welcome. Hey, guys. So when we finally got that straightened out and got the right shoe done, what this told me was if the story's right and it's purposeful, because we did, I went and I got a patent on it, and the shoe really answered a need. I had taught so many kids, because if you remember from our last discussion, I had taught cheerleading. I had owned a gym, and what I realized more times than not was that the kids were taking their shoes off to do their tumbling. And I said, so we've got to come up with a lightweight option that is going to answer the need. It's got to get enough grip, because the only two things you have as a tumbler, right, are your eyes, right, and the feel. So you've got to be able to feel what's going on. So we went light. And at the time, 6 ounces, Jimbo, what's up, peeps? What's up, man? So at the time, we just wanted to find something light. And at the time, 6.5 ounces was a third lighter than the next thing. So this was huge that we got a chance to come up with something that light. And then our pursuit just since then has just been to go lighter and lighter and lighter. And the Vengeance, the last Vengeance we have is just a little over 3 ounces. So, we're getting performance. Yeah, I know, right? We started, when we first started, cheerleading shoes were 9.5 ounces, and now they're a little over 3 ounces. A pair of
That's
shoes.
crazy.
A pair of shoes were nearly 2 pounds back in the day, and now they are not even a half a pound. So we're always pushing the envelope, and we just knew that if they were purposeful, that it would be, it would work. Oh, thanks, SC Joe too. That's very kind. Hey, DeLove, Brookie. So we just knew that if we had the right shoe, and it's not just for stunting, it's for tumbling. It is the cheerleading shoe, and we've been so fortunate that people have taken to our brand message and our brand promise of being authentically cheer, and that's why we're the #1 brand in the world. So interesting, even through this COVID and even through the lockdown, my team has continued to innovate. We have a couple of new products coming out this year that you will have seen online. We have a super cool thing that we're launching this week. It'll be a virtual interactive coaching app. We've got the top 50 coaches. You're not going to believe who are going to come out on this coaching app. So everybody will have a chance to be privately coached by some of the biggest names in the world from anywhere in the world. And it's interactive. So you take something like, the coach's eye, and you combine it with instant messaging, and you combine it with, personal coaching. And so you'll have a chance to be coached by some huge names. Tumbling, because one of the things we've seen this year is that backyard tumbling has taken a whole new, in the last 5 months, backyard tumbling, which used to be a negative thing, backyard tumbling. Well, now backyard tumbling is some of the only things people have. So, they're buying air tracks, and they will soon be an Nfinity air track, but they're buying, air tracks, and they're getting in the backyard, and they're working on tumbling and working on staying in shape, because our big concern is deconditioning. For the first time, Steve, in the So for the last 6 months, people have not been conditioning. And so people are coming back to the gym, and, I used to have a double. I used to have a back handspring. The last time I tumbled, I had a back tuck. Well, sitting out for 6 months, we don't normally deal with that like other sports do. So this is really, hey, guys. Oh, hey, from the Netherlands. Oh, cool. From the Netherlands. Cool. Welcome. Man, shouldn't you be? Well, no, I guess it's dinner time. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, but dinner time.
So, we just see. Yeah, absolutely. So we see deconditioning happening all over, and we want to help people not only get back in conditioning shape, because in May, the last time we talked, hey, Leah, fantastic. Steve, are we good?
Yeah.
Are we okay? Good, great. So I don't know that we necessarily have a specific plan when we're getting back on the floor, but I can tell you that we're 5 months closer to back on the floor than we were.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if we're 90 days out, are we 90 days within condition? It takes a long time to get ready. I don't think people realize how much work it takes for cheerleaders because it is a sport. And I will disagree respectfully with a lot of people in the industry. Cheerleading is a sport, and it does take conditioning, and it does take nutrition, and it does take practice, and it does take getting back into condition. So we're coming out with this app, and not only will it have great cheerleading coaching and stunting coaching and jumping coaching, and this is interactive. So it's not just going to be a clap. This is going to be, Coach Tate will be able to help that athlete and to show both verbally and on the app. This is where you need to push through. This is where you need to work. So we're going to have flexibility. We're also going to have a nutritionist. Just a little teaser, a nutritionist from the Food Network.
Oh, cool.
We're going to have strength and conditioning coaches who will help help our athletes get back in shape.
Yeah.
So, hey, Kaylin. Hey, Esther. Hey, guys. Hey, Dennis. Thumbs up. So, that's what we're committed to, is helping athletes get back in shape, because you are not going to be able to be in the gym every second of every day in the cheer gym. You just can't do it. So you've got to do this on your own. And so we're actually going to release an app you'll see it come out in the next week. The Nfinity training app that Jimbo, you do.
Jimbo wants the Tate Chalk.
And you just made my day. So, we're really excited about that. That's something that we're continuing to innovate, because it's not just shoes anymore. Even though we're the official shoe of cheerleading, I would say that our commitment is to the sport and to the athlete. And so we're always looking for ways to get people, oh, what we got? Hello. Oh, fantastic. One of our bags and one of our...
Yeah, but that was actually part of one of my questions is going to be, obviously now Nfinity has blown up into just an apparel industry, in an apparel company. And so kind of talk about, the transition from going from, hey, we got the shoe thing down, we can do more than just shoes.
Well, I think it started with, we can be more, what are we? Are we just a shoe brand? Are we just an apparel brand? Or are we a cheer brand? And I think at the end of the day, we decided that we wanted to be a cheer brand to the cheerleading industry. We wanted to have a connection with the athlete, and we wanted to provide something that was meaningful. So whether it's shoes, bags, apps, apparel, uniforms, high-tech fabric, everything fits with our brand promise. So we've been very, very careful on how we expand and when we expand, but the commitment change, but the brand's commitment the brand's commitment to cheer is stronger than ever. So I think to answer your question, what's next, where we see innovation is next, because we think through this whole, through COVID, the cheerleading brand have been a key force before it, during, and it positions us to catapult forward afterwards.
Because on top of that, something that you guys also released, it was with the Champions League, and you've had success there, and then the Nfinity Legends series, and then the Nfinity United Championships. You guys are just really branching out into so many things. Clearly you have very creative people and are brainstorming all these avenues within the cheer world that you guys can obviously promote these great athletes. I guess if you could take people into a week into the Nfinity office, you're sitting there, what is the brainstorming of trying to come up with all these different ideas to innovate and to give these athletes another platform to be able to do what they do?
Well, I think the easy answer is it's all need based, right? Oh, look at you, man! You have got all the graphics. It's all need based.
I got you, man.
We are sitting around and we are coming. If we are listening to our customer, listening to the athletes, and if it's not being done, and if it's not being done well, then we want to do it. And if it's been done before, we try to stay away from it. when we came out with the Champions League, we felt like it was a time for cheerleading to make prime time, and not just make prime time, but be in the movies. And at the time, we were the #1 movie in America. We beat out Captain America, Winter Soldier that year. We brought together the best 17 programs. Everybody loved it, and it's a great idea then. It's still a great idea for a chance to compete regionally and be ranked nationally. So we are continuing that even through this. We have 5 great partners in our Champions League regionally. We also have partners in Champions League in Mexico, Germany, Australia. We're very excited about taking this worldwide. It would have gone already this year if COVID hadn't struck worldwide, but we will be moving into 2021, and Champions League will be worldwide. The unified championships that you've mentioned, because I was a college cheerleader, and one of the things I like to do is show off, right? So we wanted to bring out a best of the best, no matter if you had UCA style or NCAA style. This is why it was a unified championship. We wanted to take the best of the best all-girl, the best co-ed, any opportunity we could give people to showcase their talent was a unified championship. And so we wanted to give people an opportunity that they were losing. As cheerleading was evolving, I feel like that it was evolving away from what was important and what made cheerleading great, and we wanted to bring it back center. So sometimes we're innovating and moving it forward, and sometimes we're innovating and circling back and maybe doing it where it was being missed out on. Always putting the athlete first, always putting it front and center, and making it a sport, which is really what we're all about. So I guess the question about
here with Tate Chalk, CEO, founder. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I think if you talk about how we come up with ideas,
what's the brainstorm there? Yeah.
Usually about 4:30 any given day, somebody just hollers out an idea. Honestly, and it's like 4:30 is magic time, and someone hollers out an idea. We brainstorm it, we whiteboard it. If you saw my office, it looks pretty much like just a whiteboard just blew up with all the notes on it, and we either decide to move forward with it, and we usually move very quickly, or we table it because we try to come out with something that's timely, and so it may be the right idea at the right time, or we know that it's going to happen sooner than later.
I got to interview Chris White earlier this year, which was awesome. I've known Chris for years, and bringing in people of all these different backgrounds, all these different styles. Because clearly at Nfinity, it's all about just the athlete, like you said. It's providing a need for your customers. But has there ever been clashes? I guess within like some ideas that are maybe just have you ever when you have these. Obviously, people need all these different ideas and backgrounds. You're gonna have some clashes. So, what happens when there are some clashes within the office in terms of maybe an idea or something?
Well, I think, Steve, number one, there's no such thing as a bad idea. Now, sometimes I may start out the idea with, "Hey guys, this is the bad version of this," but at least let's get it out there. Let's start talking about it. Right. More times than not, I'm like, okay, this is the very bad version of something. And then I have much smarter and cooler people that work for me than me that come up with a good version. But, we just start talking. And I think, there can't be any decision without dissension. So I think if any idea gets floated around the office and everybody's like, oh yeah, it worries me. Someone's got to take the other side and say, have we thought about this? Have we thought about this? What are the unintended consequences? Hey, Christopher from Guatemala.
Yes.
Hola.
We're international,
Fantastic.
baby.
Fantastic. How are you guys doing down in Guatemala? You hanging in there? Hope so. Thank you for joining. So, the idea is that there's no idea sacred. My ideas are, I give everybody complete permission to, poo-poo my ideas, or how do you make them better? And then I think if there's a dialogue and there's a freedom and you're allowed to disagree, then I think that's where real innovation comes from. And as long as we maintain the core values of our brand, and we're looking to put the brand first, and we're going to innovate, and we're always looking to surprise and delight our customer. I mean, even if it's a third party collaboration, like with American Girl Doll, that was one of my favorite things we've done. I mean, it seems, it's American Girl Doll. Every girl grew up with AGD, and the fact that they picked us is a huge honor. And yeah, there you go. There's one of our new shoes, the Fearless, one of our sideline shoes. And so, with our third-party collaborations, and Steve, we have a third-party collaboration coming out in September. I can't go into it because of non-disclosure, but this is probably the coolest. What I will tell you is my hint will be, what does KFC and Nfinity have in common? Now, that probably gave it away because their collab just actually sold out in 30 minutes. But we have a collab coming out that's super cool, and the kids are going to go nuts over it in September. So we have a lot of innovation coming out. We have a documentary that we're working on right now. We have
Very cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. I was in the chair. It's a little hoarse. I was in the chair 3 hours yesterday, just filming for the documentary. And believe it or not, I still get nervous being on camera. And my wife calls me a teenage girl because I'm always like, do I look like fat from this angle? It's like, just stop. So we've got a documentary coming out. We've got our training app coming out. Man, I just can't wait for you to see this thing. And I can't wait for you to see who's involved in it and just the connection that it's going to make with the cheerleaders. It's going to be huge. And then our collab coming out. We've got some cool things planned for breast cancer awareness, and we've got some awesome things planned for the holiday season. So whether we're stuck at home and we're still on quarantine and we're tumbling in our backyard, or we're back in the gym, I think the important thing is Infinity's going to be with you guys every step of the way. And no matter how topsy-turvy the industry is getting right now, and there's a lot of stuff going on that could prove distracting, we're going to keep innovating, and we're going to keep finding ways to connect with the athlete.
So, I mean, Nfinity obviously has grown into this literally international brand as we see today right now, with people from the Netherlands and Guatemala and all over just chiming in to say hi to you. But obviously through any type of business, you have the ups and you have the downs. And so I guess if you could you share maybe a story where you were like, man, I don't know if this Nfinity thing is going to work, or man, this is maybe too much work, or was there ever a point where you're like, man, I just don't know if this is going to take off?
Every day. I still, to this day think, can we make this a thing? Yes, we're international and we're in 9 countries, and we're so blessed to have what we have. But I think that we're never satisfied, and I never take it for granted. And you're only as good as your next hit. And there's lots of people trying to put us out of business. I'm so thankful to our fans and to the people like Kristen and Leah and Zoe Lynn. You guys make us a brand. The rest is just a building and some shoes. The Nfinity brand is the people, and the people who wear us, and the people who know that because they wear Nfinity, they are special, and they are a special cheerleader, and they take themselves seriously. And we're a badge brand, and we would not be that without Olivia. And like I said, the people watching right now, and all the McKenzies of the world, and wherever you are. I mean, it's thank you, Olivia.
Olivia's a big fan, Tate.
Hey, that's fantastic. So it's our fans that make us the brand that we are. I was once sitting with at a business conference with a keynote speaker, and I'll spare you them name dropping because that's not important. What's important is someone asked, what makes a great brand? And the answer was, if your brand was missing, if your brand wasn't there, would it be missed? And I thought, that's a great litmus test. That's a great test for a brand. And I always am striving to be the brand that defines the athlete. And if we weren't here, we would be missed. And that's so humbling. When I see kids get Nfinity tattoos,
I've seen that online. It's crazy. Yeah.
That is real.
Uh-huh.
And I am like, I told Grace, I was like, man, this is a lot of pressure. I mean, before it was pressure, but like these people are Nfinity for life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, at least I know that, I am too, but I mean, this is serious stuff. So do doubts creep in? I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that there weren't times. I'm human, right? I mean, this has been a tough year on everybody, but hey guys, hey Mac, hey Trevino, hey John Tiger. So it's the family around us, it's our fans, it's innovation, it's the fact that we've been through ups and downs and hard times, and the biggest company in the world has spent the last 10 years trying to put us out of business, and we just won't go down no matter how hard they try. It's the fact that when distributors like Dick's calls us and wants to do business with us, what they say is, we talked to Nike and Nike said, I was like, whoa, Nike said, if you want to be in cheerleading, you have to carry Nfinity. I was like, that's pretty strong to get an endorsement from a competitor. I mean, if you can call the fact that we're like a gnat on the fly, on the tail of an elephant, a competitor, it's very humbling. Hey, Bree, Christy, even your grandfather. Fantastic.
Heck yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Your grandfather is the coolest. Thank you. Tell your grandfather I said, what's up?
So, I mean, if you don't mind, let's talk about today. And obviously, COVID and the pandemic has really taken a toll on a lot of businesses and a lot of the cheer industry, as we know, the spirit industry as a total. It's definitely affected a lot of people, and from not just brands but colleges, high school, gyms, everything. Obviously, but though Nfinity's clearly put your nose to the ground and still innovating. I mean, but how has the pandemic and COVID and everything affected you guys? And what have you found to be the best type of, I guess, cure to keep chugging along?
Well, I wish I had some magic wand, because this is real and it's worldwide, and you can't. In 2008, you could go sell internationally and maybe avoid some of the issues that were here, and we're sensitive to what's going on. And I think the key is. I think the key is that we just keep innovating and I think when we're in troubled times, the idea is to stick to what you do and get to center as fast as you can. I mean, when they say when a boat is in stormy waters, you batten the hatches and you get to center, and that's what we did super quick. And we're fortunate enough that we're small. Even though we're the number one brand in the world, I mean, people look at us and think that we're the same size of people as a varsity. I mean, we don't have near the people. I mean, they have more people at their front desk, working their front desk, than we do probably in our whole building. Right? And so it was easy for us to get skinny. And everybody, I'll tell you, everybody on my staff, once this hit, everybody circled the wagons and came up with some good ideas and committed to my ideas of innovate, keep pushing. And when no one else was doing it, we're putting out videos on instruction, and Ben, our video, our head video guy, is building a studio in his backyard, and we have people like Jimbo and Jonathan and Ray, and I mean the list goes on and on, who just volunteered their time to give their time, because we were giving back to the athletes. So I think it's one day at a time, 1 month at a time, one one season at a time. And I think we're moving now. So originally, we went into the defense mode. How do we fix, what was broken? And we realized we couldn't fix what was broken. So to make plans on offense. And that's when we started innovating and coming out with new bags and new products and new technology to what happens if we can't get back in the gym? Oh, what happens if we can't do things like we did before? Because people were throwing around terms and still do new normal, but nobody knew what new normal was going to be. They just, really what they meant was things are changing. So rather than try to follow and hope, because hope is not a strategy, we were just going to come up with a strategy and we're going to move forward. So I wish I could say there's magic. There's just a lot of hard work by a lot of great people that have put the nose down and one foot in front of the other. And, I think we've said this all along. Cheerleading is not going to go away. We just have to, we may have to change for a little while how we do it. And that's one of the things we've done is concentrate on how we do it. Thank you, guys. That's so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, just some great comments from people tuning in from literally all over the world. This has been great. I'm here with Tate Chalk, CEO, founder of Nfinity Athletics, Nfinity Shoes, Nfinity Brands. So obviously, when you are the CEO founder, there's just a lot of, pressure. There is leadership qualities. There's obviously you're going to make mistakes. You're going to try things that don't stick. Like we kind of talked earlier about clashes maybe. From your opinion, from your experience now, from your days from South Carolina and Kentucky and going out west and then coming back. And first of all, people, if you missed part 1, go listen to it. It's awesome. Hear Tate's story about his background. It's awesome. It's a great story leading up to Nfinity. Over the years, what have you found in terms of being a successful leader? What are some things that has worked for you and some things that you've learned very quickly did not work for you when it comes to not just being a leader, but literally, you literally are in charge of a company that is providing for people's lives.
Well, I think the most important thing is to be empathetic and understand that everyone's position or everyone's stance, they don't have the same experience as you do, so you can't assume that they will be taking it the same way. I think you have to be clear and you have to be concise, and depending on what calls for, sometimes you lead from the front and sometimes you lead from the rear, or what's called shepherd leadership. And in times of crisis, you jump out front, you grab a sword, you hit the field, and you lead from by example, and you can't ask anybody to do anything you're not prepared to do yourself. It's not magic, but I think consistency in leadership is the important thing. And if people see that, if people see that you're committed to them and to the brand, and it's not just words, and you're impeccable with your word, and you put the brand before anything else, and you're united, and you're gracious, and these are all of our core values, then people are inspired.
You've been around some of the biggest names in the cheerleading industry. I know you think very highly of people like Bill Boggs. I know he was a huge influence for you. Again, we talked about that part 1. This is going to be tough probably because you've been around so many people, and I ask this to everybody. What is one piece of advice you have received that maybe changed your life or has always just stuck with you since you've heard it? You're like, that is my mantra. That is my go-to quote. That is my something somebody said to you. Could be a coach, teacher, parent, friend, whatever, that to this day has stuck with you.
This is going to sound so cliche, but it really, I think, so 2 things, and I can't quote the source, but one, make yourself obsolete before your competitor does, is a huge quote. And the other quote is, and this is a Gretzky quote via Steve Jobs, I always skate to where the puck's going to be, right? I mean, and that's what we try to do, is try to skate to where the puck is going to be. And that's the challenge is, and I think that's the definition of leadership is, you can't wait for people to get there and then jump out in front and say, well, thanks for following. Sometimes it's nasty business. It's sticky business. It's thorny business. Sometimes you got to cut through the brush, and sometimes you have to step up. So it's tough. It's tough sledding sometimes. This year is tough sledding. But I think it's making us better as an organization. It's making me better as a leader. And, battle-hardened leaders is hard to come by.
You actually led into my one of my final questions is I think that the pandemic and trying to deal with this in some ways, I mean, in most of it, let's be honest here, it sucked. It's been terrible. But we've had to, all of us have had to figure out different ways to do business, or different ways to coach, or different ways to lead. What are a couple things because of COVID have you learned, like, man, this is actually a good way to do things, or man, we're going to continue to do this because we found this to be very efficient? Is there some business practices or anything that you've learned from this where it's like, man, we're going to continue to do this no matter what?
I think it's the same. I was really fortunate enough to do some graduate work at Harvard, and one of the things I learned up there, I think it validated some of the things that I was already doing. Is, hey, you know what? I'm on to something, and this was just the school of hard knocks and school of getting my hiney knocked in the dirt a couple of times. And what we've learned, I think, is that I love the people I surround myself with. So I had great people, and when I said let's get it going and let's rally, they rallied. And so to me, it was a test of the emergency broadcast system, if you will. Like we stayed battle ready and we stayed nimble, and I had people that could make it happen. And so when I said, Ben, let's put a studio in your backyard, boom, it was up. When we said, let's innovate, let's get this going, boom, it was up. Let's get on the phone, boom. And everybody. These things in action. I don't know that we've changed how we've done business. We've just, I guess, relied more on technology and more on our relationships than we ever have before. And I think, at least I hope, my people have gotten a chance to stretch their legs. I notice a big difference in my staff already than 6 months ago. I mean, they're much more mature, much more, I'll use the phrase again, battle-hardened, much more determined. It's been a challenge, but I think it's been all growth sucks, right? All growth hurts, all growth sucks. I mean, it's painful, and I think that, we're trying to take the positive side of this is we're getting better as an organization, because at the end of this, because it won't last forever, this will be last man standing, right? The idea is that we're better than our competitors, and we can innovate faster, and we can pivot faster. And I'm so proud of them for all the pivots that we've made and all the things that we've done and things we will continue to do. Because I think that we're better now than we were. So in the first 2 months, we moved at a certain pace, but I would say that we can move triple the pace now than we could 3 months ago or 4 months ago. And so I think that's the biggest takeaway, and what we've improved on is the ability to put something into play faster. Hey guys, hey Haley. Hello Madison. Hey guys.
So we're almost at the hour. So what happens at Instagram Live is they literally just kick you out in an hour. So we're almost there, which is great. We've literally had a great conversation. We've had a lot of great interaction with people. But real quick, I mean, you've already talked about it, but I'm interested also. So when is this coaching app going to drop? When can you talk about this collaboration that's going to be coming out next month? Like, when are can you at least give us maybe some dates or some timelines of like when we should be ready to hear from some stuff?
So everything will happen starting, let's just say, expect something from us the first of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month.
Perfect.
So we're spacing it out a little bit, but it's coming out, and man, I'll get you the stuff, and you can look at it, because the coaching app, and this is just the first round. This is a chance for us to talk to our friends, and it's the usual suspects you would think. So everybody who did Nfinity TV this spring is going to be involved in the app, and these are some of the biggest names in the world, so people have a chance. And we knew that there are going to be a lot of qualified people that we didn't get a chance to reach out to. Don't worry, that we will get a chance to reach out, or if you want to be involved in the app, reach out, because there's just, we wanted to do it right, and we just have had only so much time to get this launched. So this is we're gonna get this launched before Labor Day. There'll be something at the middle of the month, and then there'll be something at the end of September. So we're super excited about what's coming up. No matter which direction the country is opening or shutting, Nfinity's going to have something for you.
Tate Chalk, I could talk to you for hours, my friend. This has been just awesome. Your story is great. I mean, again, people, if you missed part one, go to our YouTube channel or go to a podcast where you get your podcast. It's a great story. I mean, this guy has worked for everything he's gotten and continues to. And again, I know you're so busy, and I just thank you again. I'm so glad we could get part two done. Thank you for going live, and thank you for sharing your story about the creation of one of the biggest brands in cheerleading, Nfinity.
Steve, it's very kind of you. I'm so humbled that you would say that. Thank you for the opportunity to speak a little bit about the brand and to get to know me a little bit. I wish you guys a very safe weekend. Have a great day. Thanks for having me. Thank you guys for joining in.
Tate Chalk, everybody. Thanks, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Tate Chalk, CEO, founder of Nfinity Brands. Great guy. I mean, what he's been able to create. I mean, I remember when I'm old school, and I remember when Nfinities came out, and it was just something new. And I even remember being like, man, a cheerleading shoe, but that's why he is the founder of Nfinity, and I am not, because he totally believed in something that a lot of people didn't at the time, and has grown an unbelievable successful business now. And so thank you again to Tate Chalk. Part two, again, if you missed part one, go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to Full Out Chats and help us out. That'd be great. Or wherever you get your podcast. If you are on Apple Podcasts, feel free to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating if you enjoy the show. I would appreciate that also. We'll be back next Tuesday. Be ready. I like to do teasers, so be ready. We have another guest lined up for next Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Cannot wait for our next Full Out Chat. So once again, special thank you. Tate Chalk, Nfinity. Great story. Cannot wait. This will be on a podcast also. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you know what? Hey, that's what a live streaming is all about. No big deal. Unbelievable story. Thank you again, Tate. So to everybody out there, have a great weekend. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Have a great day.